Did you see that shit? MMA podcast. Hosted by mixed martial arts journalist Mike Strauss, aka Strauss21, and Chicago's #1 underground comedian, Apollo Taj Mahal.
Yo, Apollo.
What's poppin'?
Did you see that shit? The UK was the place to be this last weekend. Both Bellator 200 and UFC Liverpool went off without a hitch.
Yeah, I don't know. Why can't we live in the UK when things like this happen?
Well, I'd like to visit the UK, but I don't know about live there. Fish and chips, I don't know if that just sounds good to me.
Actually, my diet would probably get destroyed.
Yours and mine. Well, let's get to it, man. We have a huge show. We have 5 massive interviews. All of these guys are going to be fighting on this weekend's UFC Utica card, so we want to get all of the interviews out today.
Where's
on this episode.
Utica?
Utica's in New York.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's upstate New York, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, man. I thought this was like in Ohio or something. I was like, Utica, Nevada. Like,
let's get into it. If you guys don't know, we are the guys from the Did You See That Shit Mixed Martial Arts podcast. I'm Mike Strauss, a.k.a. Strauss21. This is Chicago's #1 underground comedian, Apollo Taj Mahal.
What up, fools?
And yeah, we got a lot to get to, but before we do, we appreciate all love and support, guys. Keep it all coming. All the platforms, whether it's Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes.
Whatever you're listening to right now, just hit subscribe.
And of course, YouTube at the Missing Time Productions channel. All of our content goes there. We're going to be bringing you the weekly live stream Thursday this week, guys. So we haven't forgot about you. We're just rearranging some schedules for us here.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but things are all good, right? So let's get to it, man. This last weekend, the UK was the place to be. Let's recap UFC Liverpool real quick. Darren Till, he missed weight by 3.5 pounds against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. But
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson did the smartest thing I've ever seen a guy do.
Say he needed to make the 188 after.
You know what? That was very intelligent.
That was his management.
I think that needs to be done more. So people
clever.
Take notes on that because that's pretty smart.
So if you don't know what Apollo is talking about, Till missed weight by 3.5 pounds, and Till's management team said, okay, we'll still do the fight. We want 30%, and then you cannot be over 188 at 1 p.m. day of the fight, which is a great idea because
very smart.
He walks around at well over 200 pounds. So that was a smart move, but it didn't matter, I guess, in the long run because Till gets the unanimous decision. He moves to 17-0. Thompson falls to 14-3. What did you think of this fight? Did you think Till did enough to win?
I watched it many, many times. I've watched this fight several times. And by the way, I love these kind of fights because I love technique.
It was very high. That's the thing. People were saying this is a poo-poo fest, but it was a very high-level striking fight.
It was beautiful to watch.
Oftentimes that negates each other's skill.
So what I noticed is Thompson did land more clean shots. Mm-hmm. And this is I do not fault the judges. I want everybody to not fault the judges for this one reason. Normally, I'm all over the judges. They suck.
Yeah.
When you have a fight like that, you only get to watch it once. I had the luxury of watching it 3 to 4 times. Mm-hmm. When I watched it 3 to 4 times and saw the stats, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson won by very small margin, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Darren Till did control the octagon a lot better.
He did.
And he was the aggressor. When you see someone who is an aggressor,
it impresses you.
It impresses you in your eye, in your mind. And then, so I had it 2-2 going into the 5th round.
Till clearly won the 5th round because he dropped him.
And that was hard. So, and then when I watched it again, I had it scored as a tie because I had a couple 10-10 rounds.
See, the way I saw it is, to me, it came down to the 4th round. That was the round where you could have went Till, you could have went Thompson. Because it was 2-2. The 4th round was the one, to me, was the sticking point. You're not going to fault the judges. However, you had the luxury of watching the fight 3 or 4 times. So did I. These judges only have the luxury of watching it in real time, and they do have the crowd. And let me tell you, when their hometown guy lands a shot, whether it's a big one or a small one, the crowd reacts. And that does impress upon the judges.
And when you're pressuring.
And Till definitely controlled the octagon in that regard. I don't agree with the decision here. I think Thompson probably did a little bit more and deserved to win the fight, but I'm not mad at it. You gave it to the hometown kid. I understand that. I think if this fight was anywhere else, probably Thompson gets the nod, but I'm not mad at it.
I think it's go both ways. It can either go Thompson or Till. Thompson's such a hard fight. It's like a Damian Maia fight.
Yeah, a lot of planning.
You have to plan, and you can't explode on them the same way that you explode on everybody else. So with Till fighting Wonderboy, he had to fight them. Basically, Woodley even looked like he sucked against Wonderboy. Mm-hmm. So I'm just not even gonna fault him.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens next now because Till beats the number 1 guy. He's 17-0.
Well, he's already said. He's already said, man. He doesn't want it. He doesn't believe he deserves it. And
Yeah, I agree. I think he should at least wait one more time and fight a guy. Maybe Usman. We'll see.
Anybody who did.
Although Neil Magny called out Usman, and Neil Magny won in the co-main event against Craig White, and then he calls out Usman. What do you think of that?
I don't think that's a smart move on his part.
On Magny's part.
No, I
don't think so
I think
either.
Neil Magny needs a couple wins.
Do you know that Neil Magny has the 3rd most wins in welterweight history?
Yeah, but he needs a win streak.
But that's incredible.
He is.
Think about that. Neil
What did I
Magny.
tell you? He's weird.
He is.
He is weird. Another thing I want to say: anybody who did not like Till before this fight said he felt like Conor McGregor. I gained a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
For the fact that he just goes, I want to beat everybody. I want to be the best. It doesn't seem money as a thing.
No,
to
he
him.
offered 100% of his purse when he missed weight. He said, I will give you 100% of my purse. But of course, that's not allowed.
Yeah, but
he would have. He would have. He said money will come.
I am now a Till fan,
Always have been.
and I think that once Till finally moves up to 185, because I don't think
He will eventually, yeah.
he will fuck that division up.
We mentioned a little bit earlier, Neil Magny won in the co-main event against promotional newcomer Craig White. It only took him a little bit of the first round to KO that guy. Arnold Allen, he had an impressive come-from-behind victory over Mads Burnell, a submission in round 3.
Holy shit.
Here's a guy, Arnold Allen, getting his butt whooped most of the fight and then comes up with a sneaky submission to win the fight. Just fantastic.
I
But
was so mad at my pick.
how about Americani with a narrow split decision win over our guy Jason the Kid Knight? Another one I didn't agree with here. I thought Knight won the fight.
I had the luxury yet again of watching it multiple times, and I felt Jason the Kid Knight won it.
Now, Jason Knight put out a tweet that compared some stats, and the only one, I mean, Knight wins in every category. The only one where he didn't was Americani had 3 takedowns. You see that, and you're like, okay, but ask yourself, what did Americani do with those takedowns?
Nothing.
Nothing. As a matter of fact, most of the times, Knight was attacking with submissions from the bottom, or he had him in rubber guards. So how you give this fight to Americani, I don't know.
This is when I do get mad at judges because I feel that judges are not educated enough on the ground game. My background is wrestling. I always like the guy on top. But I do understand when you're being attacked from the bottom. Tony Ferguson is a huge example of this, where he is huge at attacking the bottom. And Jason Kidd Knight kind of took some plays out of his book and started attacking off his back. I think that deserves just as much points as the guy on top.
If not more, yeah. And then Claudio Silva over Nadib Talib, rear naked choke in round 1. And then the curtain jerker on the main card, Darren Stewart, he took out Eric Spicely, KO in round 2. Very nice win for Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart, I don't know. What do we do with him? What's going to happen to him?
It's going to be interesting. I don't know. I really don't know. He's one of those tweener guys that isn't quite ranked, but right on that cusp. So I don't know. I think he probably gets a big name guy. We'll see, like one of the top 15 guys or right around there. Well, it's going to be fun, though. We'll
I think
see.
it would make sense for him.
Another guy making his UFC debut this weekend, local cat, Jose Shorty Torres, finally got the call up. He is Titan FC's champ.
The true champ.
He's making his debut this weekend, UFC Utica, against very tough Jared, the Monkey God Brooks. We had a chance to catch up with Jose Shorty Torres, and here is the UFC newcomer. I want to welcome back Jose Shorty Torres to the show. He is 7-0. He's the real champ, and I'm stoked to have him back on. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just actually waiting for a fight, waiting for a contract, and trying to figure out what's next for me.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Of course, if folks don't know who you are, shame on them. You are, of course, the Titan FC flyweight bantamweight champion. You are the real champ. You're 7-0. You're 25 years old. You're on over a 20-fight win streak, dating all the way back to your Ami days. And what is going on, man? Are you going to be fighting for Titan, or are you going to be fighting for the UFC finally?
One, just to boast my resume, 32 fight win streak so far, if my math is correct.
Shit, I'm sorry.
I'm really happy about that. And I'm just, again, I'm trying to figure out what's next. My last fight, no offense to my opponent, but it was just some guy who was willing to take the fight because all the ranked guys don't want to put their record against me. We're at the point of our career where, one loss can set us back 2-3 fights and we have to get back at it compared to, me, I'm literally just waiting to be signed, but I also still have to make a living for myself and still, somehow stay relevant when I'm not fighting. So, I took the last fight, was able to get the knockout, which I'm very happy about. But now it's no one wants to fight me. And, Bellator is having problems with their bantamweight division. The UFC is having problems with their flyweight division. I'm sadly in MMA limbo where there's nothing I personally and physically can do to make anything better. It just so happens I'm put in the situation because of outside sources. And, again, I'm just trying to figure out what's next. I'm trying to contact ONE FC, Ryzen, other promotions, and see, I'm technically a free agent for Titan FC, but I represent them because they're the ones that made my whole professional career. They gave me the opportunities that I've been given today, and now out of 7 fights, I've had 5 championship world title fights, and I'm trying to figure out what's next. Right now, for me, if nothing happens, I might be bumping up to 145 and trying to create history again. It's one of those things that I'm not trying to just stay relevant. I'm not just trying to make a career, make a living. I want to make a legacy, and I want to create history.
Wow, 145, huh?
Yeah, it's one of those things that every fight there's a risk. And if I'm taking the risk, I'd rather lose to a ranked opponent, if not for sure a champion. For me, I'm the champ of both divisions. There's no ranked guy that wants to fight me. And, the only guy that's next is Jason Suarez at 145 for Titan FC, if no other promotions want to sign me. Again, I've had UFC fighters back out from fighting me and telling their promoters no because they just don't see it as a good fight. I get it. It makes sense. I understand it. And you're keeping your career safe, but you're not helping my career flourish as well. So, I got to stay relevant. I got to do more that's different. Not just keep on fighting to stay the same, but, look at Vasyl Lomachenko. He won his 3rd division world champion this weekend, and I know boxing weight classes are a little closer. It's a little different, but for me, again, I don't see why I can't do it as well.
No, I definitely think that, if you pursued it, there's no doubt, man. I mean, your resume speaks for itself. You would 100% achieve it. Is there a specific reason why the UFC hasn't signed you yet? Because I've said it time and time again, man. I've been saying it for a few years. I really think that you are the future of whatever division you choose, but really the 125.
Yeah, for me, I believe I'm a true flyweight. It's just a division I know I could easily make. All my knockouts have been at flyweight, either in the first or second round, and I'm willing to put on a show. People have seen my fights, whether they've gone the distance or have gone close to it. I'm always putting on a show. Somebody's bloody, somebody's broken, something's happening that's big and flashy and a good highlight reel. And again, I'm always trying to put on an exciting spectacle for the fans to support me no matter what. If I win or lose, just so happens I've been winning every one. For me, it's Jason Suarez is a good 145 opponent, and I think is a perfect matchup for me. But the UFC, they've been, they're having problems with their flyweight division. They know I'm a true flyweight, not a bantamweight. Even though I can fight both, and I have proved that multiple times, they don't want to sign anybody mainly for money. If they're going to sign someone, it's going to be for the basic last minute contract. Oh, here's 10 and 10, 12 and 12. Oh, we're going to give you a 10-day notice. And honestly, with the resume that I have, I don't believe I deserve that type of thing. I don't believe I need to be on a show. I don't believe I need to be boasted anymore or do something else or jump through more hoops to prove myself. I've done something no one's ever been able to do before. 5-0. That's 2 world championships at 2 different weight classes and a title defense in the process. Now I'm 7-0 with 5 world championship fights. So it's one of those things. I'm creating history, but for some reason, because I'm the small guy, no one respects it. If I was any other weight class, I'd be up there. But so be it. The UFC is just not a big fan of me right now.
Did they offer you a spot on one of their shows, mainly the Contender Series?
So sadly, and I know they knew about it, but they were just trying to be generous with me. Was when I broke my hand against Farkal Sharipov, I won the 2nd belt. I was relaxing. I wasn't going to fight until November. I broke my hand and tore my MCL. The doctor wasn't going to clear me until September, and I didn't want to fight until November to make sure at least I had a full training camp. I'm 100% ready to go. But McMahon would call me 3-4 times in July and August saying, hey, do you want to fight this weekend? No. One, it's like a 6-day notice, and 2, I told you I broke my hand. I won't be able to fight until November. All right, cool. We'll give you a call next week. It's like, oh, you're not getting the gist of this. I've been contacted to fight Justin Scoggins and Tim Elliott, which I think would have been fantastic fights for both. But again, so be it. It just so happens I've been injured, and then they call me once for UFC Charlotte saying, hey, we want you to fight. I know it's last minute. It's 10 days. We'll give you a choice of 2 UFC fighters. Which one do you want? I go, I don't care. Whichever one. It could be this guy or that guy. I know it's last minute. We'll even fight 130 or 135. I don't mind doing the catch weight. And both those guys said no. So it's either I'm injured or, things just, aren't happening.
Yeah, I don't know what, man. They really got to get their stuff in order there, because as of late, just who knows what they're doing. The whole Yair thing, I don't know. They're leaving a lot of things up for debate. That's for sure. One of the things I wanted to kind of pick your brain about real quick, man. You've always been ahead of the curve with the way that you train. It always has seemed like what you were doing yesterday, guys catch on a few months later. What do you attribute that to, man? Are you a sports psychology guy?
Well, my major was sports and exercise science, kinesiology, and my coach, Master Bob Shermer, has been training me since 16 years old, literally in the science of the sport. We don't just explain like, oh, this is how you do the move. There you go. Good luck. Try it. He doesn't just explain how to do it, but he explains why it works, the muscle groups and the body mechanics and the body physiology. So it's it's science. And for me, that was my major. It all came sense to me when I was in college, and the different ways I train and all the veterans I trained with, T.J. Dillashaw, Josh Sampo, John Dodson, Diego Sanchez, Cerrone, all these guys, they taught me so much and put little pieces into me and helped me define my own craft. And again, I travel so much and I train with so many fantastic guys right now at American Top Team, which I'm calling home right now, including my gym back at home in Chicago, Combat Dough. It's really cool to see the different training styles, the different type of fighters, and literally train with the best. So I'm trying my best, even now, trying to, be smart about things and, change my repertoire every single day.
For sure, man. Changing gears a little bit, what do you think of Curtis Blades, man? He's done so great for himself.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because I used to coach him when he first started. He was a national champ while I was an All-American in college, and he wanted to get into MMA. We introduced him to my gym, and he was with us for probably about a year and a half. And then eventually, we just didn't have the guys his size, so he had to, start to gym hop and get different opportunities. And man, he's, the flyweights, the small guys and the big guys are the guys that are needed the most because there's so little of them. Mainly so talented, like for example Curtis Blades. He's not just a fantastic wrestler, but now he's starting to throw hands. He's now starting to switch stances and do different things. I really hope that after this Alice Overeem fight that he gets a rematch with Francis Ngannou and really gets to prove that he's ready for the title shot.
Yeah, 225 is going to be fun, man. There was a really cool picture I saw a few months ago on Facebook. It was way back. It was you, it was Curtis Blades, and it was Angelo Rivera. You guys were all standing in a cage, and it was just really cool because you are phenomenal on the cusp of being a world champion in the UFC. Curtis is on his way, and then Angelo is a phenomenal. He's main eventing a local card here next month.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Angel and I, both started at Combat Dough. He's been there much longer than I have, and there was four of us initially, and we called him leader of the group because he was a big promoter. He was a big guy to get all the sponsors and kind of tell us all what to do. And he ended up taking a 2-year layoff, doing his own thing, trying to start his own career. Now he's back at it, and it's cool to see him back at it now. Just appreciate what I've been doing. It's really cool to get the respect from both him, Curtis, and be able to give my feedback to them and try to lead them through the right path. And I mean, Curtis and I are fantastic friends, and I help him with a lot of stuff outside, the UFC and outside the fighting game that help him get a little revenue. But man, he's a sponge, man. He catches on so quick, and it's awesome to see how his career's flourished so fast.
Yeah, it definitely has, man. Well, wrapping it up here, you're always active on social media on Instagram, Jose Shorty Torres. On Twitter, it's Shorty Torres 125. Couldn't help, I saw something earlier today. I couldn't help but bring it up here. You posted something, was it like a man cave? All your belts, and you had some really cool artwork on the wall. Where was that?
Yeah, so that's actually at my gym, Combat Dough in Cicero, Illinois, at Warren Park. It's downstairs in the building, and it's a little small area, but everyone usually donates their belts back so we can put them on and show that our gym has a lot of experience. So there's one side of the gym that has about 12 belts, and that's multiples of so many other people as well. I decided to bring all my belts, and I have 10, at least amateur-wise. I put them on the belt. My brother made a banner for my pro debut, and we decided to post it and show that if this shorty can do it, so can all the other kids just starting the gym. I wasn't a natural. I wasn't super talented. I did get beat up a lot, and I just never gave up, and I was very persistent. All those belts show my accolades and all my hard work. I don't see why, if I can do it, these kids can't. They can do it as well.
For sure, man. You're definitely a beacon of hard work, dedication, and you definitely show folks out there what is possible with, when you put your head down and blood, sweat, and tears, man. You are truly a champion, man. So I appreciate you taking some time with me. The floor is yours if you'd like to shout out your sponsors, anything you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, my sponsors definitely know who they are. I have so many, it's ridiculous. So I don't want to accidentally, outshine the other. But I do want to say, everyone that supports me, I do say we can, we will together. We are Team Shorty. For people who want to support me and not just support me in my training camp, but the kids in my gym, I do donate 20% of all my proceeds through TeamShorty.com to the kids in my gym so they can travel, train, compete, just get an opportunity and get the confidence to, hopefully live a better life and get some sense of responsibility. And, mixed martial arts has pretty much saved my life and made me the person I am today. So I want to be able to give back and do the same. So if anyone wants support, ships worldwide, teamshorty.com, all the apparel, 20% goes to the kids in my gym. So I really appreciate all the support.
Awesome. Always fun, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Shorty. All right.
So, how long do you think he dethrones DJ?
I think he's definitely going to be fighting at 125 pounds. That's where he wants to be. I've said for a while, I think this guy's the future of that division. So I think in a couple of years, we're going to be talking about him as the champ in the UFC.
I kind of don't want him to face DJ quick because I kind of like this run that DJ's on. But I think if he gets him soon, DJ's had probably one of the toughest fights he's ever had in his career.
Yeah, Torres is coming in with a ton of hype. He's first got to get past the monkey god, so let's see if he can do it. Another guy we had a chance to speak with that is also fighting on this card, gentleman that's been on the show many times, Belal, remember the name Mohammed. He's so interesting, man, because this is his third fight where he's actually doing his training camp during Ramadan.
That must suck so bad.
We talked about it a little bit. I was wondering, is this something that he asks for, or does it just happen? Because this is his third one, but I guess it's just timing. Here's our conversation. I want to introduce Belal Mohammed back to the show. He is one of the baddest men in the world. Of course, he is UFC welterweight. He's got a big fight coming up here, and can't wait to catch up with him. What's going on, man?
How's it going, bro? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a little bit here, man. I want to get right to it. You had a fight set here in a little bit with Nico Price. That fell through. You got a very tough a youngster, man. Chance. I'm going to butcher his last name, or it's a Rencontre.
Yeah, I couldn't say it.
Yeah, it's a weird one. But this kid is, I looked him up when the news broke here. He looks, dare I say, maybe it's more of a challenge for you than Nico. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different fighter than Nico, but it's all the same. Every fighter has their own specialties. Everybody fighters has their own thing that they're good at that you got to look out for. But I feel like I train with the best guys in the world, so I see different looks all the time in the gym. So like a last second replacement isn't going to bother me too much. I see so many different styles at practice every day, so not really that much of a difference.
Yeah, the kid is he's a Bellator vet. He is an RFA vet. He's 12-2, so he's been around. He's not just some dude they pulled off the street. But more importantly, man, you're 13-2. You train at Rufus Sport. What I'm liking now is people are really starting to respect Rufus Sport for what it is, and that is one of the very best gyms in the world. You got guys like Jared Gordon actually moving their whole base to come and train with you guys, man. How does that make you feel?
Man, I like it. It works out perfectly here, man. Like, you'll have them big gyms where they have guys will have over like 200 people there, and it'll be like, oh, this gym has like 50 UFC fighters or something like that. But we have a good small group of guys that work out perfectly. And yeah, like you said, Jared Gordon moved down here. Actually, he's my roommate, so he moved down here to train with us. And we don't sit there and allow anybody to come down and train with us, man. You have to mess with us. You have to fit in. If you're not going to fit in, we have a lot of visitors, and some of them fit in, some of them don't. You'll know after like a week if you're gonna make it at this gym.
For sure, and you've been doing it. You're one of like the OGs now, man. I mean, you've been doing it for so long. Did you have a chance to watch last weekend's Usman and Damian Maia fight?
Yeah, I was able to watch that fight.
What did you think?
Man, I don't know, man. I'm starting to get bored of them Damian Maia fight, especially against like wrestlers, because he keeps doing the same thing, and he's just not trusting his hands. He honestly has good stand-up, and he was landing some good shots. He just wasn't believing in himself. And in this game, if you're not adapting, you're going to start losing. And that's what he's doing. He just keeps going back to his shots. Now, they weren't working against the last two wrestlers he faced, and he still kept trying to do the same game plan against Usman, and it didn't work out. This game is ever-changing, always changing. The guys are getting better at everything, and so you always got to be able to stand up if you have to.
Yeah, for sure, man. So your fight is on June 1st, Fight Night 131. The thing is, is this your second or third fight where your fight camp falls within Ramadan? Is this something that you ask for because you're just so good at it, or is it just total coincidence that you keep this timing keeps happening for you?
Yeah, I think it's more of just a coincidence that timing just happens like this. But it's like you said, it's one of those where I've had 3 camps already in it, so I've gotten a good routine going with it. So it's not really bothering me as much anymore. But yeah, I've been out for about like 5 months now. I had a bit of injury. So now that I was just trying to get back in as soon as possible, and this is the first date they gave me, so I was ready to take it anytime.
What do you think of all this talk? Like Yair got released because supposedly he was, he was refusing fights. What do you make of this? You're a guy that you just said the first fight they threw at me, I took. I didn't care, even if it's in Ramadan. I don't care. I'm going to take the fight. What do you make of this? Fighters not wanting to take fights, man.
Man, it's just the game is changing, man. Like there's not that many guys out there that in the old days you'll have like fighters that are real fighters that'll fight anybody anytime, any place. Nowadays, you guys got guys. Oh, I'm not fighting this guy if he's not ranked. I'm not fighting downward. I'm only fighting upward. I think that most of these guys now are making it too much of it's too boring now lately. Where guys are sitting there not trying to make it exciting for the fans. If you're gonna have the wrestlers trying to just wrestle, hold you down, just to get the W on, doesn't care if it's entertaining or not. The game's just changing, and people are gonna start realizing, especially like this cut, that it's entertainment business, man. If they're not entertaining, if you're not putting on a show, if you're not doing what you need to do, then they will cut you no matter who you are.
Yeah, no, they definitely will. And if they don't believe it, just look at what they did to Yair. Well, man, you're one of my favorite follows on Twitter. Always entertaining. That's at BullyB170. It's the same on Instagram. The floor is yours, man. If you'd like to shout out your sponsors, anything you'd like.
I appreciate it, man. Just shout out to Go Forward Crowd Therapy, Combat Corner, and anybody else out there that supports me. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate your time, man. It's always a pleasure, and I wish you luck in your next fight, and can't wait to speak with you again.
Thank you, man.
Take care, man. All right, there you go. Can't wait for Belal's fight. He was supposed to fight Nico Price, as you heard, but now he's fighting newcomer Chance Rencontre, so this should be pretty interesting.
I still think he wins.
Yeah, I think he will too. Let's get to it here. Bellator 200 happened this last weekend. That was also in the UK.
I'm gonna brag because I was right about Gegard, and you were dead wrong.
I sure was. Gegard Mousasi ran through Rafael Carvalho, KO'd him round 1 with strikes, took him down, and beat his ass quick.
So I just quickly, because I'm a bragger and kind of an asshole, what happened to Gegard not being good at wrestling?
Well, I said his takedown defense was always what I had an issue with, but I tell you what, he took Carvalho down and it was unbelievable to watch.
I was shocked he didn't want to stand with him because he wasn't losing on the feet. It was actually, they weren't on the feet long, but he looked like he was like good octagon control. He looked very confident, but then he just saw an opening, took it.
I thought if any fighter was going to take this one to the ground, Carvalho was going to be the one
that's what
down,
I thought. So. But this one was a very shocker to me. I think that this should be a bigger conversation. I do like the conversation of Roy McDonald versus Gegard.
That's what everybody wants, but Scott Coker said that is not in the immediate plans.
They should defend their titles first because there's a guy in the middleweight division I think that has it out for Gegard.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. How about, man, Michael Venom Page over David the K-Man Rickles? He made him verbally submit after he cracked him with a right.
No, he made him verbally submit because he clowned him. That
unreal.
So
that kid is unreal.
Let me ask you a question. Was that punch really that devastating?
I think after he punched him and his face exploded, I think that's when he realized, okay, I am fucked.
So
MVP is right because MVP pointed at him right after that.
He's like,
you're fucked.
You're fucked.
And I think Rickles finally conceded, yes, I am fucked. I'm done.
Well, the K-Man Rickles talked mad shit before this fight.
Unbelievable.
Talked way too much shit.
This kid MVP is special.
I want to see him against a wrestler, and I know we kind of saw it against Cyborg, where Cyborg can take the fight to the ground, but Cyborg did strike with him.
Good luck getting in close. He's going to catch you with a flying knee and explode your face.
I know. Or a high-level striker like himself and Paul Daly. Is he going to keep his hands as low as he does against Paul Daly? Is he going to clown him the same way? Or is it going to kind of look like when Anderson Silva would take things seriously and put his hands up and then fucking front kick you to your damn face?
Funny you mentioned Anderson Silva because a lot of people are comparing MVP's performance this last weekend against Rickles. A lot of people are comparing that to the Anderson Silva Forrest Griffin fight.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looked like. And you know what? He kind of reminds me of a mixture of Nick Diaz and Anderson Silva.
See, he always reminded me of a mixture of John Jones and Anderson Silva.
Really?
Yeah, because his range, his length.
It's just not as so the reason
because not as wrestling centric.
Yeah. So John Jones, as much as I love his striking, he's a high level wrestler.
What's amazing is John Jones has never wrestled formally, but he's the best MMA wrestler.
Oh,
It's amazing.
Well, no, he was a national champ.
No, he wasn't. He never
in like high school.
maybe in high school, but
And he was supposed to go to like JUCO. He was a beast wrestler.
Well, I know it was a big deal when he was fighting Cormier because Cormier's like, he has all these wrestling accolades, and here's a guy who has really never wrestled at any level, high level, but yet his MMA wrestling is it's like George. George never wrestled growing up. However, he is one of the best MMA wrestlers.
Sorry, Freestyle Nationals. That's
Yeah,
what
maybe
that's what he was. He actually had a lot of scholarship offers. He had a baby, and that's why he went into MMA. So John Jones probably would have been one of the best wrestlers of all time if he would have stuck with it.
And then Gordy Shore actor, now turned fighter, Aaron Chalmers, he got the win over Ash Griffith, submission, round 1. The kid looks good.
Boy looks good at fighting, but damn, he's ugly.
I think he kind of looks like CM Punk.
He does,
with the hair, the
and that's
tats a
why I
little
think
bit.
he's ugly. No, he did very well. This was a great matchup for him. I think he's going to be a big draw in the UK, especially.
Yeah, definitely will be.
Because people don't seem to like him, and I think that's going to work to his advantage.
Definitely. Mike Shipman only needed 10 seconds to KO Carl Noon. That's pretty much all
And
about
I
that
shit my
one.
pants.
You Shipman your pants?
Yeah, I've been shitting in my pants.
And then Kate Jackson over Anastasia Yankova, unanimous decision, and that wraps up Bellator's 200th event. Continuing with our theme of 5 interviews this episode, we caught up with one Dez the Predator Green. He is also fighting this weekend at UFC Utica. Here's our conversation with the Predator. I want to welcome Dez Green back to the show. He, of course, is one of the baddest lightweights in the UFC, 20-7. Kind of hit a little rough streak lately, but he's going to be back and better than ever. He's taking on Gleison Tebow at UFC Fight Night 131. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going, bro? Good to be back on there. Chilling. Had a good day at sparring.
Yeah, you're down on ATT. You've been down there for a while now, man, just training with a bunch of killers. I see you on social media all the time posting. Who are some of the guys that you get to train with on a regular basis?
Like Michael Johnson, Jason Jackson, Kamaru Usman, a bunch of guys, Robbie Lawler, Nick Lentz, he's actually fighting on the same card as me. Sean Soriano, I could go on. So, yeah, like you said, we saw a bunch of killers in the room always.
Yeah, ATT, man, you guys have long been one of the best camps out there. Steel sharpens steel. I know Daniel Strauss had an accident a while back. You've spent time training with Daniel, haven't you?
Yeah. He had a bad motorcycle accident. Luckily, he was blessed. God was able to, hit him up, keep him safe. He's the doctor told him he might not even be able to walk, but he's that trained to make things, full contact. So that's a blessing, definitely.
Yeah, that's incredible. Daniel's been on the show many times too. I mean, when I think of you guys on ATT, I think of Michael and Menace. I think of you. I think of Daniel. I think of all you guys just training and just really going to make some waves here. So Gleison Tebow is the next guy, man. Did you have a couple of different options, or was that just the only guy that was presented to you?
No, there was a couple guys on the table, and that was one that I really wanted somebody that was, going to be a good name. Definitely somebody that, once I win, I could get, some hype off of. So, that was good. It worked out. I wanted that.
It must be nice. You don't have to travel very far for this fight. I mean, the last couple, I think you had to go out of the country, right?
Yeah, for sure. The last 2 I was out of the country, man. Like you said, it's definitely gonna be nice to fight in my home country, especially home state. Fighting in New York, it's gonna be my second time really getting a fight at home. A whole bunch of fights. I'm always out of town kid, so I get a dance to a different beat this time around.
Now, Gleison, he's actually on a 3-fight losing streak, so he's going to be coming into to your fight. He's going to be, his back's against the wall. He's going to be a very dangerous dude. What are you expecting from Gleison?
I definitely think he's going to bring it. It's one of those fights that, he knows it's kind of like a make it or break it fight for him. Like you said, he's on that radar of, getting probably cut, to be honest. And, especially, with that whole side of things, and, he hasn't had good performances. He's been out. So, definitely think he's going to be bringing it, and I'll be ready. I'm definitely going to be ready.
You know, I mentioned a little earlier that you are on a 2-fight losing streak. It's the first losing streak of your career, your professional career. So I just wanted to point that out, too, that this is something new for you. You've never lost 2 in a row. But despite that, though, the UFC rewarded you with a new contract. So that just goes to show you what they think of you. You're a phenomenal fighter. You give 110% in every outing, regardless, even when your opponent doesn't make weight. Whatever the case is, you just go in there and fight. Is that an attitude that you've always had, or is that something that you've just developed over these years?
Nah, man. I mean, it's always been like the recipe to me. It's my career. My first year fighting, I fought 10 times. I just take fights whoever, whenever. I definitely think the UFC recognized and appreciate that about me, especially with like taking fights overweight. You got veterans that won't even fight if a guy is a little bit overweight. And, my guy came in damn near 20 pounds overweight. So the next day, but it is what it is. It's just, to me, we fight, we train. It's just what it is. I can't shy away from fighting ever. That's just always how it's been. So.
Assuming everything goes the way that you're planning for it to go here against Gleison at Fight Night 131, what's next for you?
I wanna just be active. I want to get 2 more fights in this year after I win this. So I want to go out there and make quick work of this guy, and just get right back after it, get 2 more before the year is over, and climb the rankings, get in that top 10 by the end of the year.
Just real quick, man, I had a chance to speak with Din Thomas earlier today, and I was just we were talking about the Raquel Pennington situation, the whole, I don't want to go back out there. And I was just saying that I think things like that happen a lot more often than we realize, but the camera just happened to catch that. I just wanted to know, what were your thoughts on that? I personally think it was kind of blown out of proportion.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we in there, sometimes we say things we don't mean. I mean, I personally would never say it, but I don't really think she mentioned it. If she would have quit, it would have been worse. And, that would have been something she would have had to live with for the rest of her life. You know what I mean? Just the memes and everything. And, people would have been down. They would have had something to say either way. I don't think she really wanted to quit necessarily. So, it is what it is. She went. She went, she did what she had to do. Her coaches felt that, as a coach, you got to do what you feel is best for your fighter, even if you don't think it's best for your fighter. Sometimes the fighter want to stay in there, and the coach calls it off, and they still get shit for it. So, vice versa. They don't want to stay in there, and the coach makes them stay. They still going to get talked. So, I think as long as she's fine with her coach, everybody else should just deal with it.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same, and a good point too that another gentleman brought up was, was she just sick of getting her ass beat, or was there a legitimate problem? Because I think that makes a difference. She was getting her ass beat. Let's just call it what it is. Or if there was a real legitimate injury, that's a whole nother cause to it. But I appreciate your time, man. You're very active on social media. You're at PredatorTune on Twitter, and Instagram is the very same. The floor is yours, man. If you'd like to shout your sponsors, anything you'd like.
Yeah, man. No, like you said, PredatorTune, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. That's on the Predator Green. June 1st, be looking for some fireworks. Big things coming. Shout out to my team. Shout out to the family.
Well, I appreciate your time, man. I can't wait to see you and Gleison go at it. It's going to be one of the best fights on that card.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Take care, Des. All right, there you go. He's ready. Can't wait. He is fighting Gleison Tebow, so that is going to be an exciting fight. And then we also had a chance to catch up with one of my favorite people to talk to. I always try to schedule interviews with Smilin Sam Alvey in the morning because he puts my whole mood into a good one. So here's our conversation with Smilin Sam, and guess what? He also fights on the main card this weekend.
I'm so proud of him.
I want to welcome back Mr. Sam Alvey to the show. One of my favorite people to talk to. I love talking to him early in the day because he is so positive. You get my day off to a fantastic start. Thanks for doing this, Sam.
Hey, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Man, anytime. Big fight coming up here. This is your second fight at 205, UFC Fight Night 131, better known as UFC Utica. It's a really stacked card, and I'm really looking forward to your fight, man.
Oh, I appreciate it. And this is a fun card. It's not a lot of huge names, but there's a lot of good matchups. So I'm pretty excited to be on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of, as you said, man, it doesn't really have the name notoriety, but I mean, every fight is a pick-em. It's a really good matchup. Yours is no different. John Vellante, this is going to be an interesting matchup. Did you do anything different in your preparation for this fight?
You know what? I didn't do a ton different. I've got a great camp, and I'm real comfortable with what I do for every fight. So me and the coaches, we came up with a good game plan, and we've just been practicing on performing.
You looked fantastic in your last outing at 205. I mean, the way that you rushed Prachniow, I mean, I don't think he ever expected it, saw it. I mean, you looked fantastic at 205. How do you feel?
You know what? I feel great, but honestly, I felt great at 185 too. It's just an easier time getting to 205. So, as long as the UFC wants me there, I'm gonna stay at 205. I think.
Yeah, I think it's a good place for you, man. I think you're going to be able to reach your potential there. Now, you're kicking off the main card here at UFC Utica. It's a really fun card, as you said, man. You just turned 32 on May 5th. I want to wish you a happy belated birthday.
Well, thank you so much. It feels good. I don't feel a day older than 31.
And you don't look a day older than 25, so things are going pretty good for you.
Yeah, things are looking up well for Sam.
But did you do anything special, or did you do anything unique for your birthday?
Yeah, you know what? This is the second year in a row we did it. There was a Mexican burlesque luchador show in LA. So
wow.
Me and a group of our buddies, we all went downtown and saw that show.
How was that?
It was so much fun. We went last year, and I think it's going to be every year we do it now. It's a Cinco de Mayo show, so it just works out perfect with my birthday.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out next time I'm out in the LA area. That sounds like an interesting time to say the least.
The name of it was Lucha Vavoom.
Lucha Vavoom. I'm gonna definitely have to check that out. So Sam, Michael Bisping just retired. The reason I bring that up is he's one of the most underrated fighters in my opinion, and I liken that to you a lot because looking through your record, you are one of the most accomplished fighters in the entire UFC, but I don't feel like you get the credit or the respect that you deserve. Do you feel the same way?
I think I get a ton of respect. I might not be the most well-known fighter yet, but I'll get there. This is only my second time fighting on main card.
That's true, and you're a Bellator vet, you're a UFC vet. You've been doing this for a long time. You're one of the toughest guys in the world. I just feel like people should be talking about Sam Alvey more.
You know what? After this fight, they will. This is the first time I got to be on a main card, Derek Brunson, he got the better of me. So I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen this time, and I'll never be on the undercard again. The legend of Sam Alvey continues.
What did you think of the ESPN deal with the UFC?
You know what? I don't know how it affects me yet, so I'll be happy to go with the flow. The UFC hasn't led me astray yet, so I'll trust they know what they're doing.
Any predictions for this weekend's fight?
I tell everybody. I'm going to submit them in the third round.
Why the third round?
Because that's what I say for every fight.
Well, eventually you got to be right? One of these times.
Yeah, eventually it's going to happen.
Well, I know that you're active on social media. You're Smilin Sam on Instagram and Twitter. The floor is yours, man. If you'd like to shout out your sponsors, anything you'd like, Sam.
I tell you what, I'm part of the greatest gym on the planet, Team Quest, Dan Henderson's Athletic Fitness Center. And if anyone ever wants to come out and train, I'm in Southern California. We don't have winter there. Yeah. So if you guys are looking to get away for a week, come train with me. I'd love to punch you all in the face.
Well, I'd love to get punched in the face by you. I'd love to take you up on that offer sometime. I wish you the best of luck in your fight on Friday. Hey, let me ask you before I let you go, is that Friday going to throw you off? Because usually you fight on a Saturday. No,
I don't think so. I just started everything a day earlier. My weight cuts, I'm ahead of schedule a day on my weight cut. And everything else should happen just fine. Just I get the weekend now. Hey, I'm actually, my little girl turns 5 a day after I fight. So we'll be in New York. We're going to go up and see the Niagara Falls. And that'll be my little girl's 5th birthday.
Oh, that's going to be awesome, man. Happy birthday to your little girl, man. That's super special. I have 2 of my own, so I know how those moments are priceless, man.
Oh, wait, we're looking forward to it. She's going to be tickled.
Definitely. Well, I thank you for your time, man. I can't wait for your fight. You kick off the main card. I know it's going to be a fantastic outing for you, sir.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. We'll make it happen again, I promise.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks, Sam.
Absolutely, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, there's Smilin Sam.
Why does he make me so happy? Like, I was having a decent day, now I'm having a great day.
I don't know what it is about him. He just puts a smile on my face, too. And then, so we've been hyping this UFC Utica card. Listen, it really doesn't have the big names, but I'm telling you, there's 13 fights, and every fight is compelling, has a good storyline. Let's quickly run down our picks and breakdown of the main card. Headlining, of course, is Jimmie El Terror Rivera. He's taking on Marlon Moraes. I like Jimmie Rivera. The UFC has him at number 5 in the world, but I think he's much higher than that.
That's a crime.
I think he is the next champion at bantamweight, but I think he beats Marlon. What do you think?
So I think that I don't necessarily think he's the next champ, but I think he is definitely the next top contender that has a serious argument that he could be. I'm gonna go with Jimmie Rivera on this. I think that after his Uriah Faber fight, we really saw his striking and just his overall game go to the next level, and this fight is going to take him even higher.
Yeah, fighting in New York for Rivera is special, and I just think he gets it done.
I think he's going to utilize those low kicks again.
In the co-main event, Gregor Gillespie is taking on Vince from Hell Pichel. This Gregor Gillespie, we've had a chance to talk about him a little bit before. This kid is the real deal. Vince Pichel is a tough matchup for him, though. Vince is a guy who, he had a good run a while back, took some time off, came back, looked really good. Gregor Gillespie, I think, is just too strong. He's too athletic. I think he is going to take down Vince, and he's going to do what Gregor does, and that's ground and pound him.
I'm going to go with Gregor. I don't normally like to go with guys who are mainly ground and pound type people, but I think that he is just way too strong.
Speaking of strength, Walt Harris and Daniel Spitz in a nice heavyweight fight. I like Walt Harris. The big ticket is, I want to say he is the dark horse in the heavyweight division. I don't think he is that. However, I think if he racks up a couple of solid wins, he comes from a good camp at AKA. He trains with some good guys. He could make some noise in the heavyweight division, but first, I like him to get past Spitz.
I'm going with Spitz.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I have this feeling. I have no facts to back anything up in this one fight. Like,
sometimes you don't need facts.
Sometimes I just have this weird thing in my gut that's just saying that Spitz is going to do it.
And then Jake Ellenberger is taking on Ben Saunders. This is a fun fight. This is like two veterans just going at it.
Jake Ellenberger's still around?
Yeah, and so was Ben Saunders.
This is holy moly. I know. I am so excited about this. I would have been more excited back in like 2010.
Yeah.
But still.
I like Ellenberger, though.
I like Ellenberger.
I just think Ben Saunders, he's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. Phenomenal jiu-jitsu guy. One of the best 10th planet guys ever. I just think that Saunders is on his way down. And Ellenberger,
he needs a win.
He does.
He's fighting for his life.
I like Ellenberger. And then Julio Arce, friend of the show, is taking on Daniel Tamor. This is a very tough fight for Julio Arce. I love Julio. He trains at Tiger Schulman with Jimmie Rivera and Shane Burgess and all those killers. So, he comes from a great camp. But this Tamor is a fucking striker. He is an animal. I think Tamor is going to hurt Julio, and he's going to really make this an exciting fight. But I think Arce is a very smart fighter. Julio really opened my eyes last summer in the Tuesday Night Contender Series fight. I already knew who he was heading into that. I had a chance to speak with him before, but in that fight, between round 1 and round 2, he was getting his ass whooped, and he changed his whole game plan. He was able to switch in his corner, come out and get a victory. So the way that Julio is able to adapt and fight, I'm a big fan of, and I think that ultimately he'll be able to capitalize on that and beat Tamor in round 2 or 3. So I'm gonna go Julio.
Tamor is such a good striker.
Unbelievable.
I have never seen him against a guy who could take him down, though.
It's gonna be fun.
Yes. So I'm not going to make a pick in this fight. I am going to say, though, that the key to this fight is where the fight will be. So if Tamor is able to keep the fight on the feet, I think he does win. But if Julio is able to game plan properly and take this fight to the ground, I think that he has a chance.
Yes, it's a good point. And the curtain jerker, gentlemen, we just had a chance to hear from Sam Alvey taking on Gian Vellante. This is tough, man.
I don't pick against Sam Alvey ever.
Yeah, you're going Sam. I like Sam at 205. This is his second fight. He looked fantastic against Pratchow. Vellante is a tough guy, though. I mean, this is a much stiffer challenge for Alvey than Pratchow was. This is tough for me. I'm going to go Alvey, but this is tough.
So I'm going to say something crazy, and everybody's going to go, you're nuts. But the 205 division is kind of wide open.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a chance Sam Alvey could string together a couple wins and possibly make a claim at a title shot.
Never know.
You never know, because I think he is. I don't know if he's as talented as everybody, but he's definitely tougher than everybody. He's definitely happier than everybody.
That he is.
And so I don't go against him because he's always shocked me. I'm going to go Sam Alvey in this fight, and I think 205 is a beautiful weight for him because it is such a wide open division, and I think he can actually compete with the top guys at 205.
And also on the undercard, just a shout out to friends of the show, Des Green, Belal Muhammad, and the aforementioned Jose Shorty Torres. Best of luck to those guys.
I'm so shocked Shorty Torres is on the undercard.
I'm excited for that.
I'm excited too.
It's the first fight of the night.
What?
Mm-hmm. That's on the early Fight Pass prelims.
Oh, guess who's going to be chilling with that?
So we had a chance to talk with Jimmie Rivera, the headliner from this weekend's UFC Utica card. Very nice guy, one of the nicest people in the world you'll ever have a chance to speak with, up there with Sam Alvey. Here's our conversation with Jimmie Rivera. I want to welcome Jimmie Rivera to the show. He is one of the very best in the world. The UFC's got him ranked at number 5, but I believe he is even higher than that. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Same stuff, different day. Just heading into my school. Just got done training early this morning.
Very cool, man. You're a workhorse. You're always working. You're always like one of just the nicest dudes, man. You're always in such a good mood. Just it seems like you live life to the fullest and just really appreciate every moment.
Yeah, I mean, you only get to live once, and you have to enjoy it. And I'm taking full advantage of it. You know what I mean? With fighting, with working, with other stuff I do, just in general. I'm enjoying it as much as I can before I get too old and I can't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah, right. I'm starting to learn how to do that myself, man. So you got a big fight coming up, UFC Fight Night 131, Marlon Moraes, June 1st. It's a long time in the making, rather, because you know all that BS that kind of went on at the end of last year. Let me know, what does it mean for you to be able to get your hands on Marlon?
I'm looking forward to it. You know what I mean? He's been calling me out nonstop, and he called me out a lot at the end of the year, and I said I would fight him, and he said no after calling me out on social media. So for the fact that for him to finally say yes and be able to get this fight, especially a main event fight, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, what do you think that was all about? Why do you think he started talking all that smack?
He just wanted to be relevant and be able to put his name up there and try to say I was going to deny him the fight, where I gave him 10 pounds on December 30th to fight me. So instead of fighting bantamweight, I gave him to 140, even 145 featherweight. And then they gave me another date where it was January 20th to fight him. And I said, yeah, and he still said no. So he wanted to make a scene, but he couldn't back it up.
No, he definitely didn't. That was very unusual, man. That whole thing, because I don't know. I'm just happy that you guys are finally going to get it on, because you're 21-1. And I have long said I believe that you are the best bantamweight in the world, and it looks like you're going to get your chance to prove it here. You know, assuming everything goes your way after Marlon. But what do you think of the current champion and the gentleman that he took the belt off of?
You know, I think the current champion is TJ's got. You know, he's got a mix to him. He's got a unique style. He's tough. I see the fight going. I see kind of TJ winning this fight, this rematch against Cody. And it should be interesting. It should be an interesting fight. You know what I mean? TJ knows how to mix it up, and really a smart fighter, where Cody sticks to his, really just sticks to his boxing. Doesn't mix it up as much, sticks to his boxing. So it should be interesting. And, we all saw what happened last time. And I think TJ can get it done. And either way, at the end of the day, my main focus is getting the win, and then hopefully getting a shot against whoever wins that night in August for the belt.
Has anything been said to you or promised that with a win that you would get a title shot next?
Nah, never. There's nothing ever promised or said. You know what I mean? There's only could it be or might be, but that's it.
Yeah, good point. That's true in the fight game, man. Well, something that I'm very happy about is Tiger Schulman's, man, last year kind of broke through the ceiling. You saw guys like, you've always been there, but you saw guys like Shane Burgos, you saw Julio Arce. These guys, finally broke through to the big show and are doing well there. But as a guy who has kind of been there spearheading the whole Tiger Schulman thing, what does it mean to you?
It's great. It's great seeing my teammates go in there and making names for yourself. We actually have one guy that's on the Ultimate Fighter. I'm looking forward to watching him fight. I mean, obviously we know how he does, and I can't say anything, but I'm just looking forward to being on the show and do his thing.
Yeah, I can't wait too, man. You guys are just producing more and more fighters here, and of course, I think you are a definite future champ here in the bantamweight division. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, man?
Nah, just thanks for having me. It's always good talking to you.
Yeah, for sure. You're on social media. You're on Twitter at Jimmie Rivera 135, and Instagram is just Jimmie Rivera.
Yep.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, Jimmy.
Anytime. Thank you.
Bye. All right. There you go.
I would not mind for that guy to beat me up with a smile on his face.
Just such a nice guy. Anytime I ask him for a few minutes, he's always more than happy to give it to me. Again, thanks, Jimmie Rivera, and I can't wait for his fight against Marlon Moraes on Friday. So it's going to be exciting.
There are some fighters in the UFC who are just so nice, and they're all fighting within 2 weeks, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Stephen
there's a few
Wonderboy
of them.
Thompson, probably one of the nicest men in the world. Sam Alvey and Jimmie Rivera. Those are my top 3. You can't change my mind.
Transitioning to one of the nicest guys in the world, insert opposite day joke, Michael Bisping. He just retired. So before we wrap this episode up, I definitely wanted to get your opinion and your thoughts. How are you going to remember Michael Bisping? Slow clap.
So I'm actually going to get a little emotional on this because Michael Bisping has been in the sport for a very long time.
Ultimate Fighter 3, he
Yep.
won.
And we had a conversation beforehand about people, and not everybody is the same. And you see it in the UFC.
Is that what you call it? A conversation?
Yeah.
What we had?
Well, you know what? We are friends. You know what? I'm going to say this. You're more like a brother than me. So we're probably going to duke it out later.
It's all good.
I'll get you boxing gloves. But on the real, in our conversation, we both agreed that there are people who just need to get off their butt and do stuff.
Yes.
No excuses. You work your ass off. And even if you're not the most talented person in that thing, you bust your butt till you reach the top.
That's Bisping.
That's Bisping. This man has been through a lot. He fought everybody there was to fight. He fought people who were on steroids, TRT Vitor, who fucked up his eye to the point that he couldn't see.
You see, even now he has problems even with his good eye, he was saying. That's why ultimately he's calling it a career.
Which is sad. I want people, as much as I think he was a dick to everybody.
Yeah.
But that's
But
kind of
that's
his
him,
personality. So I love him for it. It's endearing. It's normal.
Right.
I want people to remember Michael Bisping as the toughest motherfucker I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he embodied what a fighter was to me.
He was what
Or
a fight. And watching his career is like watching life. Fighting is life. And I want people to really take a look at it. And some fighters really embody it. Dominic Cruz is one of them. Nick Diaz, GSP. Matt Brown. They embody life in their fights. Where you see them go out there and they put everything on the line. Some people treat it like a job, but they don't. Michael Bisping treated it like life. And watching him inspired me to go out and get an extra workout in.
And the way he was able to win his championship on 9 days' notice, just as an ultimate underdog in his own backyard, like to me, that embodies his career. Like ultimate underdog, all the stakes are mounted against him on 9 days' notice. One of the best guys in the world at that time, right?
Luke Rockhold. I still think he's one of the best.
He knocks him out. I mean, to me, that embodies his, like, the ultimate underdog, you know?
And I want to thank you, Michael Bisping, for giving us some of the best fights I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
For going out on your shield several times, for embodying what a true martial artist, what a true fighter, a guy who bites down on his mouthpiece and just goes out there and does his job. Thank you so much for putting yourself out there the way you did. Thank you.
I think he was so good that we don't even need to end this episode on a joke.